it. You could tell the animation and production of that part was. It's like, oh, this is new. This is that new, right? So we gotta. This is definitely all new stuff that
That
nobody.
new.
Yeah, like because nobody. Yeah, because that was like all new. Like nobody's seen that, right? So like, there weren't parts to compile into it. It was gonna be a completely new thing. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Anime Summit Podcast. This is your favorite host of the Sam, the Bomb. And with me right now is Danny Who Nanny.
Yo yo.
And me and Danny are here doing an EX episode. So
Whoa. It's a very special one too.
Yeah, because the homies at Crunchyroll
Again,
they hooked us.
coming in and giving us that pre-screening.
Hell yeah, dude. Give us that special looky look, little sneak peeks at Fruits Basket Prelude. So me and Danny got to watch it early and bring you a review.
Yup.
And we're doing this as an EX episode.
That's why Nick's not here.
That's why, yeah, I was gonna say that's like
Because Nick is a bitch.
he doesn't. Yeah, he hasn't seen. He keeps going like, oh, I need to watch it, but then he just hasn't gotten around to it.
He just never does.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think he wants to watch it because he knows how popular it is. Like he wants to watch it because it's popular, but he doesn't. I think he doesn't like those kind of shows normally. So it's like just don't watch.
I mean,
don't
in
watch
all
it if
honesty,
you don't want to.
yeah. In all honesty, I'm okay with Nick not watching Fruits Basket.
I think he would like it. I don't know.
I feel like he would too, but I don't know. I this is my favorite anime and manga of all time. Like, I don't need Nick shitting on it just to shit on it, you know?
He'll be like, why do they turn into animals?
Why do they turn into animals? Because, you little bitch.
Why doesn't she just, why doesn't she, he would be like, why doesn't Tor just bang all of them? Dude.
Oh my god.
So yeah, we're doing this as an EX episode because we wanted to bring it out to you guys as soon as possible. So if you guys heard this week's normal episode, which was our Pride episode, and you're listening to this next, double feature, man.
Whoa.
Science fiction. Woo, woo, woo.
That's such a good movie.
Feature. It's too bad that the writer's like kind of a piece of shit. But yeah, I like
Yeah.
Rocky Horror. Shout out to Tim Curry. I kind of hated the Glee episode of it. I used to love Glee, and I hated that episode. Anyway. Yeah, they did like a Rocky Horror episode. It was kind of shitty.
Well, they did. They like, what was it? NBC was like big on like the whole like Broadway on TV, and like they redid The Sound of Music, and they also did a remake of Rocky Horror.
That was weird, that NBC live thing, because like 50% of people loved it and 50% of people hated it. So it's just
hated it. Yeah.
I still haven't seen it just because I'm so used. I just love the original movie so much. Anyway, same for the Rocky Horror podcast.
It's okay. Yeah, right? Let's do a cinematography.
Yeah, let's do cinematography on Rocky Horror later. No, dude, I gotta thank the homies over at Crunchyroll for providing us the review screen links. And now that the embargo is lifted, we can talk to you about it now. I will say that this is going to be heavy Fruits Basket spoilers for not only just like we're going to spoil this movie, but also the show as well. Because to be honest with you, the show is spoiled right away at the beginning of this movie for recap stuff. So anyway, links.animesummit.net. You can find everything right there. You probably just heard me say all that on the Pride episode, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. I only say that the Discord link is where it's at, and that's on there. So you should go to links.animesummit.net, hit the Discord link, and join the Discord. But yeah, let's do waifu and husbando, Danny.
Waifu is Kyoko and husbando is Katsuya.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
What a surprise. And furthermore too, just to like elaborate on the spoiler stuff, right? I would definitely say right off the bat,
Katsuya is hot.
Katsuya's hot. No, but like right off the bat, like, yeah, you definitely should watch the show before watching this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because this movie is actually technically a compilation movie and not a movie.
Yeah, yeah. So everyone who is on our Discord, could, like, shout out to King and Young Blaze. We were talking about it because King tagged me or pinged me saying that he bought tickets to go see this movie with his wife, and King told me that his wife hasn't seen Fruits Basket, and I'm like, please make her watch all 3 seasons before you go. Like, literally, please go.
I wonder.
And then Young was like, oh, did you watch the movie already? And I didn't want to say.
Yeah,
like,
you didn't want to. Yeah,
I didn't want to say yes, I did watch it, but like I did read the manga.
Oh, okay.
So
that's right,
I kind of used that as an excuse, and I said, well, I read the manga, and there are major spoilers that are going to happen in this movie. So, and they're all like, oh, thanks for the warning, because they only watched the first season, and the first season does not explain a whole lot, especially like the compilation and the recap stuff that happens in this movie. Like, a lot of the recap stuff that is in the prelude is from like mainly season 3.
Yeah.
So
there's season 2 parts in it, and then it's mainly season 3.
Yeah.
But we'll explain a little bit more as we get into it. But I clearly did not pay attention to the marketing, because I thought it was like a whole ass like other like thing they were making, and and they still did. They still drew and animated new stuff for it, but no.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was not expecting what we got.
Yeah.
I really wasn't. I really was not expecting like a 30-minute, or literally it was like 30 minutes of recap, at least 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, I looked at the time stamp. So yeah, the first 30 minutes is TV series recap.
Yeah.
Which is basically, and by recap, I mean not the whole show, but the recap of the story of Kyo and Toru and how they're like love came to fruition or whatever.
Yeah. It's pretty much like Caitlin. So I'm going to go off of a review off of Anime News Network by Caitlin Moore. She wrote, the first half hour of the movie is a clip show, free of any framing device or narration to tie it together. It felt more like a fan-made compilation posted on YouTube with the title "Best Kyo and Toru Relationship Moments."
Yeah.
Which, in all honesty, that's literally what it was.
That's like low key but high key what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were kind of like not like hyping you up, but for the first 30 minutes of it, I was not expecting to get like this clip show, and I'm just so like, when do we get to the meat? Like, where's I want my Kyoko and Katsuya.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, my first impression of it was like, this is not what I was expecting and everything like that. I mean, they delivered once you got to, Kyoko and Katsuya. And fucking Fruits Basket always gets me teary-eyed, and like I mean I cried. I don't know if you cried some, but I fucking
Yeah,
cried.
yeah. I'm already sensitive too, so that didn't help. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, definitely felt that one. Um, just because like when you know the context, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. When and I feel like for me it definitely put a huge impact on me because I've read the manga. So to actually see um Katsuya and Kyoko and how their relationship developed and stuff on screen and animated, and like I can hear sounds and I can hear voices. I can see expressions like, from Kyoko turning mad into becoming really really sad. Like that is just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like I'm so happy that this happened. So,
hmm
um yeah. Um
I yeah, because I definitely did not pay attention to the fact that it was a compilation movie. Because
mhm.
even uh, the parts where, first of all, it was directed by Yoshihide Ibata, which I believe he did.
Oh yeah, we
I
should
believe he did
talk
the
about
show.
that.
He did the show as well. He did all three of the series of the show. It basically is the same staff as the series, the TMS series,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah, pretty
um,
much.
based on the work by Natsuki Takaya. So, um, I I definitely did not pay attention to the fact that it was going to be like a compilation film because it's going to be it's like in theaters and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's even
Yeah.
going to be in theaters this weekend, tomorrow.
And I mean
Um,
it did really well.
over
Um
there, yeah, it did because it's Fruits
yeah,
Basket. It's really
so
like a lot of people in Japan
yeah,
love it, but
it's going to be popular. So the movie came out in the winter of 2022. So in Japan it premiered on February 18th,
mhm.
and Wiki converted it to US dollars. So it grow like the gross period for the Japanese box office was 1.12 million dollars.
And if you think about it, that's pretty good and that's just Japan, right? And that's pretty good for a
Yeah, that's
compilation
just
film.
Japan. Yeah.
So for a film that's just compiled of scenes and with only half of it being new stuff, and so in my opinion that's pretty good. But I guess when I started it, I just was like, I kind of expected there to be some of that, right? Like to use some scenes
Yeah.
from the anime to like kind of uh, blanket you a little bit or kind of cushion you a little bit as you jump back into it. But then it was like it like kept going, and the movie's only an hour and
Yeah.
27 some minutes, right? So, um,
Yeah. It's where it's running time is 88 minutes. So
so like an hour,
uh
yeah, like an hour and
an hour
28.
and 28 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little under, but so like. It kept going, and like before I knew it, 31, 32 minutes passed by, and it's like,
Yeah, and you're like, "Okay, when does this recap stop?"
and then
Like
and then the title Fruits Basket Prelude comes on the screen, and then you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
It kind of I think they kind of did that, and they also kind of set it up to be like as if it was Kyoko. You know how because there's like that scene where Kyo's a kid, and Kyoko and him are chilling in that
Yeah.
little park, and
Mhm.
or on the
Mhm.
pipe or whatever, and they're kind of setting up to be like she's telling him this whole story
Yeah.
of how
So,
she met Katsuya and all
right.
that.
So so after I rewatched it, cuz I rewatched it just so that
Yeah.
I have it fresh. After I rewatched it, I went cuz I went to my manga. My manga are still in boxes right now. So I had to find them. Um and cuz I wanted to know where exactly this moment happens, because for me when I read it, this flashback moment and the story of Katsuya and Kyoko, it doesn't happen the same way that it did in the show, where like they kind of just skipped over it and they just told Toru and Kyo's story. In the manga, it starts, so I actually had to look it up because I was going through the whole series. I'm all like, where the fuck is this scene? And I could not find it. So I had to Google like the chapter. But it's chapter 90 in volume 16. And to set up the scene, it's literally right after the cultural festival where they did that play of Cinderella. And yeah,
so that's why they showed that part a little bit too in the recap, I guess.
Yeah, but just barely. That wasn't even like how it got set up. So in volume 16, there's a couple of pages, and the first page, it's pretty much Kyo narrating, and as you read through it, Kyo is just talking about, if she knew the truth, if she knew I met her mom, would she like still love me and all that kind of stuff? Because right now he's still blaming himself for what happened to Toru's mom. So and as it goes on, as you keep reading, Kyo is still narrating. And I think that's pretty cool because let's see, where is it? He goes, I kind of remember we talked about a lot of things. Yeah. When was that? She started talking about herself a long time ago, just a little at first. Before starting middle school, she was already out of control. She fell in with the bad kids and spent her days doing bad things. So, like, he's telling the story. And to me, I feel like that would have been so much cooler if Kyo was narrating it a little bit.
Yeah, it's like as if he's narrating the time when she told him about it. Whereas in the compilation, in Prelude, he starts doing that, and then she narrates the rest of it.
Right. Yeah. Which is completely fine. I mean, it's Kyoko's story, so
right.
She should be the one narrating it. But I feel like it would just be so much. I feel it would have been way more interesting if Kyo was narrating it a little bit, and then it went into. And then it went into her story and like having all the events happen the way it happened and everything like that.
I think it would have been cool if he narrated the whole thing and then it kind of comes back to present and it's like Toru and him after work. Because at the very end of Prelude, you see a little bit of that, kind of. You see a little bit of Kyo and Toru's life afterwards. But anyway.
So I have the manga in my hand right now, and I'm reading.
It's just like paging through it. Danny's pulling a Nick. She's reading while she's reading.
So what I'm seeing, Kyo's narration kind of stops after Kyoko is in school and she gets like reprimanded for looking all beaten up and like how the way she dresses and stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of where Kyo's narration kind of stops, and then it really goes into just like Katsuya and Kyoko's story and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when, like, from what I'm seeing here, Kyoko is narrating now. So that would have been cool, I think. Yeah. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And so I do just want to say, also, some of the scenes of Kyoko's story, are
so cool.
Yeah, they're it's awesome, and some of it is taken from some of the flashbacks in the TV series, but I think a lot of people might. So I want to say this like right off the bat. Like, I think a lot of people might go into this thinking you're gonna see a lot. You're not gonna see that much, because
Yeah.
it's told in a montagey way. So first you see her in junior high, like her last year of junior high, how they met, how she met Katsuya,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
um, then it cuts over to like her getting jumped out of the gang, because she wants to
Mm-hmm.
change and finish high school, and
Yeah.
then getting
Well, she wants to take her exams to go into high school.
yeah
Because
yeah
remember,
to go into high
they're
school, yeah.
in middle. They met while she was in junior
In middle
high.
school, yeah, yep,
Yeah. So she's like 14, 15, and he's like in his early 20s.
yeah, yeah,
He's a student teacher,
yeah.
Katsuya.
And then so she's getting jumped out of her gang because they're like, oh,
Right.
you want to be a fucking, whatever, fuck you. And then her parents kick her out, and then he kind of starts helping her with her exams. Katsuya does.
Studying with her
Yeah.
and all
Then
that.
they get their
Yeah.
own place. They get married. You see Toru's grandpa or his dad be like really supportive and cool.
Katsuya's dad.
Then
Yeah.
she finds out she's pregnant, and then you see Toru as a baby for a little bit, and then Katsuya dies, and then you kind of see how Toru.
Whoa, I wasn't even going to mention that, but
No,
okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, we all know what happens, but like
I mean, no, but like still. Oh,
I said at the
man,
beginning, we
that
were
was
going through all spoilers. So like this—that's the thing. Is like
Okay.
there's no way.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to tell people right now, is it's a montage. The way it's told is montagey. So like it's not, you're not gonna see a lot of like there's not a lot of it was a lot of tell and not show. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so I think it's not really a good idea to kind of walk people through the whole thing, to spend too much of this podcast walking people through the whole thing, because it really, the whole thing is told to you very quickly. So what I do want to mention though is, and this is going to sound kind of dumb because it's kind of like I'm making an excuse for it just because it's Fruba, but I'm not trying to, because I still very much wish that we would have got like at least an hour OVA or an hour film of actual stuff being shown. But they were just like a normal couple, so there wasn't too much to show really. They didn't. I don't think they wanted to add like some other random conflict. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, between
Yeah.
them, because there really wasn't. Like Kyoko had always described to Toru and Kyo, she had always described her life with him to be damn near perfect, and it
Right.
pretty
She
much
always. Yeah, and she. Well, I mean, the way his demeanor is, I mean, like he's super. Katsuya is super mysterious, and you see that, okay. And
he's very stoic and enigmatic.
he's
A little
stoic,
bit. Yeah.
he's sarcastic, and like, Kyoko would give him like a not so, like, it's not even a compliment at all, but he'll say thank you anyway. And like he's just like this sadistic kind of charming fellow. But like you can't, honestly, I don't put Kyoko past her for, being with Katsuya. Like Katsuya is an interesting guy. You know, you want to know, you kind of want to like like examine him, really, not in like a sexual way, but like you're intrigued by his personality,
I mean,
and you
in
want
a sexual way.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times my heart skipped a beat anytime like a oh my god moment whenever like Katsuya was like being all flirty with Kyoko, and like it took her by surprise. Like I watched the dub, by the way.
I watched the sub.
So and hang on, I need to. Oh no, they don't have the English people.
Yeah, Crunchyroll provides
Damn
they provide us both links, so it's really nice.
Yeah, so I watched the dub, and where is it? Lydia McKay.
Yeah, she plays Kyoko.
She plays Kyoko, and J. Michael Tatum. Oh my gosh, I loved him as Katsuya. His voice was so
His
perfect. I
voice was
love it.
nice because I watched the trailer of the.
Oh,
It's really
oh
good.
my gosh. I love his voice. His voice was so perfect for Katsuya. A lot of people said that dub was okay. Like Caitlin Moore, who did the review on Anime News Network, said that they preferred the sub over the dub. So I honestly, you're in good hands either way. I I for Fruits Basket, I am definitely pro dub over sub because they managed to get a lot, like literally almost the entire OG staff from 2001 to do this. So
Hmm.
I was like completely okay with watching it in dub, and I was super happy with it.
Hmm. Yeah, dude.
So,
Um, excuse me. Yeah, it was good. I thought the voice acting is good. Laura Bailey, playing Toru has always been
oh
great.
my god, like she owns that role. That is her. Like
Yeah,
that is Laura. Like Toru is Laura, hands down.
yeah,
And Jerry Jewell as Kiyosoma. Like,
yeah. The dub, I've always thought the dub for Fruits Basket was good for the new one and even the older one. Um, I just watched it in sub because I knew Danny was gonna watch it in dub. And that's how I watched the show also. But yeah, the parts that we did get with Kyoko and Katsuya, right? And like I said, there's not much to show because obviously it's like damn near perfect. They weren't gonna show an hour and a half of them just having a perfect life, right? So like,
yeah, yeah.
you already kind of it's just there to kind of fill in the parts that you didn't get to see when you're watching the TV
In the
show.
actual show, yeah.
So it's just the important stuff, which you could argue is like that's all you care about, right? Which is fine, because that's all I kind of cared about, right? Like,
Yeah.
but uh, I kind of do wish there was a tad more, because
So,
maybe it was too summarized for me, but like
yeah, yeah.
I will say that I'm glad I still got to see it because obviously like uh you when it's being told in the it's kind of like Star Wars, right, where like you watch A New Hope and you hear about
Mm,
you hear about the Clone Wars and you hear about
yeah, yeah.
oh
Just the
yeah,
lore that goes
yeah,
into it. Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
then they actually came out with episode 1, 2, and 3 later on, and it's like, oh, okay, shit. um but like I liked it for the most part. I think
I mean, if you love Fruits Basket, you're gonna like it regardless on it being a
that, yeah,
compilation film.
that's what I was
Like
gonna
you're
say,
gonna
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
I loved it because I love Fruits Basket. I am a super fan when it comes to Fruits Basket.
Hmm.
Um did it have to be a movie? No. Like I'm going to say it right now, it didn't have to be a movie. Honestly, they could have put it in like slot like they could have slipped it in into the show. Easy.
Or it could have been a
Like
special, like it could
it
have
could have been a
or
special,
OVA.
it could have been an OVA.
Yeah.
Like to me, I don't think it needed to be a movie. I'm grateful that it's a movie, and I'm grateful that it managed to get 1.12 million dollars in Japanese box office. um I don't think that that's gonna happen in the US because it's only showing for like 3 days. And they're not like 3 consecutive days. It's gonna be airing this weekend, and then Tuesday and the 28th and the 29th is going to be the last 2 days for this movie to be out.
Which you can still get your
So
tickets now, like if you go to the G Kids website and
yeah.
um what have you.
So,
But
but yeah,
I will say this. What Danny said is like it's if you like Fruits Basket, then you should just watch it just cause. Um that
but don't
oh sorry, go
if
ahead.
if if you haven't watched Fruits Basket or you only watched the first season and you feel like you want to go see this, do not do that.
Yeah. That's
Please don't do that.
to reiterate what I said in the beginning. It's like it'll spoil everything right away. So like just
Yeah.
So you would definitely highly recommend, 110% recommend watching the series first. So because the story of it, Toru's parents, mostly her mom, plays into the series more than you think it does. So, or than that you would think it does until you get there anyway. So I definitely would not just like go watch it thinking, oh, this is just about her parents and how they had Toru and stuff. Because although that's what it is, it really is a smaller part of it of something that's bigger in the themes of like hope and love and needing somebody and needing people and you needing to be there for people who need you.
Right. So and there are like major events that happen in the recap episode, the recap part of the movie that doesn't get revealed until the season 3 of Fruits Basket. Yeah. So please watch everything before you watch this movie. Yeah. Please, I'm begging you, do not watch it.
Like I said, it spoils everything right away. Yeah. So, that being said, right, the animation, like the newer parts that they added to it, which is mostly Kyoko when she's younger, and the later parts when she's like, when she finds out like she's pregnant and stuff like that with Toru, is on par with the show. It's consistent with the show. And then there's the part at the very end where it shows Kyo and Toru for it's like a little 5-minute thing. When the prelude of it part ends, when Kyoko and Katsuya,
and it goes back to the present.
It goes back to the present, in which it's after they have moved away, because that's like the whole thing at the end of Fruits Basket is Kyo and Toru move away. She's kind of like walking home from work, and he's walking home from work, and they meet up, on the way home. That part was definitely had way more production put into it than the rest of it. You could tell the animation and production of that part it's like, oh, this is new. This is that new, right? So this is definitely all new stuff that nobody
new.
Yeah, because that was like all new, like nobody's seen that, right? So like there weren't parts to compile into it. It was going to be a completely new thing, because the prelude part itself, with Kyoko and Katsuya, there are parts of that are from the TV series, like flashback parts from the TV series intertwined with newly animated parts. And I think they kept the animation consistent with for that purpose, which is fine. But then that for those very last 5 minutes was like, oh shit, it's not significantly different. It's just different enough where you can notice. But where you just notice it, but it's not super terrible. But that being said, it's still a very nice, decent compilation of a movie. I just very much wish that the recap part of it was not that long, because obviously if I'm going into this, I think
you've seen all of it. Yeah.
I think they did indeed think that some people were only going to have watched season 1 and go into it thinking it was going to be whatever, you know what I mean? So maybe that's why they did it, but or maybe they wanted it to be longer.
I don't know.
It was just kind of a weird choice, because it was literally 31, 32 minutes worth of, you know what I mean?
There are heavy spoilers in the recap part, especially when Toru gets out of the hospital and Kyo finally catches up to her, and Kyo professes his love yet again to Toru and everything like that. And a major event happens right there. So, I don't know. I feel like I feel like if someone who just only watched season 2, season 1, and they watch this and they watch the 30-minute recap, they're all like, well, why am I going to bother watching season 1 and 2 when there's this?
Right.
So, because, I mean, to me, I wouldn't want somebody who is just getting into Fruits Basket, just only watching season 1 and then watching this movie. To me, I feel like they're not getting the good parts on why Fruits Basket is so great.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
As like a big fan of it too. So
yeah. And as someone who is an even bigger fan, no, I'm just kidding. But as someone who is like a somewhat recently pretty huge fan of it, because I have always loved the Dean version, and I never read the manga after that. I just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
So watching the new one was like my first time.
See, I was hooked. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't, my library didn't have all of them, and the friend who I was borrowing them from moved away. So, but like and then after that I fell out of anime, so like I just forgot about it. But the new show was that was all my first time experiencing all of that.
Yeah.
So, I think this is a nice end cap to I don't feel like I need any more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I technically could have gone without this, but I really loved that we got it, because like, you hear, it's like I said earlier, it's like you're hearing all about the stuff about the Crimson Butterfly and whatever, right? Which is Kyoko's
and like,
delinquent title is the Kyoto.
Yeah, and there are some key points about Katsuya and like how Toru kind of imitated Katsuya saying, welcome home, or, thank you very much, like when she was a kid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because that was around the time, and you did see like the mirror that Toru used when she was a kid in this movie too. Because that was around the time when Kyoko was at her low, and she literally was in a dark place after Katsuya died. So,
and then she almost forgets that there's still someone else who would welcome her home, and it's like, God.
Yeah, that fucking made me so cry so much. Like, oh man, like, I knew it was gonna happen too. It's just like, oh no, it actually happened.
Right now, honey, not Felios. Oh my God. Yeah, that part was really good. But like, I feel like even though it may not matter to some, I think it was a decent end cap. I don't feel like I need any more. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's enough. There's even a sequel story called Fruits Basket Another.
Yeah, like, which I have those volumes too.
Yeah, let me know how those are. I might read those, but I might plan to read this.
It's okay. I mean, it's no Fruits Basket, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's right now. I mean, I haven't really dove into it. I only read like the first 2 volumes that I have right now, and like, for right now, it seems like it's just your typical slice of life. Like, no twist has happened for me.
Anything wild?
I mean, and Fruits Basket Another is about the offsprings of everyone in Fruits Basket.
Well, like, it's about some other random girl, and
it's also about another random girl, but like you see Kyo and Toru's 2 sons. You see Yuki's son,
Akito and Shigure's kid too.
And then there's Hattori, and I forget the teacher's name. But you see their daughter in there. Like, it's literally everybody everybody's offspring from Fruits Basket is in Fruits Basket Another. So, but like there's no curse, like, because the curse is broken.
Yeah.
Spoiler. So I was trying really hard not to say that, but yeah.
Well, I already warned people in the beginning, so
I know.
if they're still listening, you fucked up.
But that was like a super major like thing that like happens in the show, and I'm just like, I don't want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So it's just a slice of life. Like it's really nothing too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I mean, I haven't finished reading it all, so I don't know what exactly happens.
So do you have any final thoughts on Fruits Basket Prelude?
I'm sad it's over. And
yeah, it really did feel like an end cap, right? It was just
like it's like the end, like it's literally the end. Like that's it, no more, no more Fruits Basket. It's done. Like, it's kind of making me want to read it again, because after I watched it for the second time for this episode, and I was looking for the manga because I wanted to see exactly where this story takes place, and I finally found it, and I was reading a little bit, and I was just like, man, like I gotta read this fucking shit again. Like this is so good. Like I need to read it. I can't like not read it again. So yeah, it's really making me want to just grab all 23 volumes and just reread it again, because it's just so it's good storytelling. So
yeah, I that's probably better than I could have said it. I mean, I think it's a good end cap to everything, and if you loved the series, just take an hour and a half and watch it.
Yeah.
If you want, and I'm gonna say this, okay, and some people might think this is whatever, but like if you are just coming off of watching the TV series, or it's still pretty fresh in your mind, like it was for me and Danny, even though it ended like last year, that's just how much, that's just how much she loves it, how much I love it. But I'm gonna say this, it's gonna sound a little goofy, but like if you want to skip a little bit ahead of that, recap, because there's nothing terribly significant in that recap.
Yeah.
It just is kind of to set you up for what you're about to watch.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and which I kind of appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I was watching Fruits Basket every day until this moment actually happened, kind of thing.
Right.
So that recap was definitely like I appreciated that, because it's like, oh yeah, okay, now I remember that happened, and this, not, and the third.
Right.
So,
and I say that to people who might watch it at home on Crunchyroll when they start streaming it later. If you're going to the theater, you don't have a choice, obviously. But like, right. If you're listening to this podcast way later and you happen to see it on Crunchyroll,
Yeah. Or you bought the the Blu-ray, because I know I'm fucking gonna buy that. Like,
yeah.
But to like end my final thought, I really wish that they just would have incorporated this into the show.
Sure.
Like I don't feel like it was necessary to be a film.
Right. Yeah.
So
I feel the same. I feel like I'm okay that it was, and I don't. It's not like I regret losing my time or anything. It's nothing like that.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Yeah. It's just I'm with Danny on that one. It would have been fine if you had just made like an OVA special that came out a couple seasons later or something.
Right.
Whatever. But
yeah, or they could have just taken the extra time in incorporating it into the show, because season 3 only had like 13 episodes.
Right.
So they could have easily incorporated, like, this could have been a 2-part episode.
It
So
could have. It kind of could have. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they
um,
didn't want to have like an odd number of episodes or something. I don't know. But like,
well, I mean, the first two had 25.
well, 25 to
Like,
26 is standard though. 24 to 25 is standard.
well, nowadays, like,
No, it's been that way
we've
for a
got
while.
fucking One Piece with like 1,000 episodes or something like that. Come
well,
on,
that's
like,
standard for that show because it's a, it's a weekly show.
well, whatever. Anyway, I still think that they could have
Jay's like, well, shut up.
easily. Come on, it's 2 extra episodes. Big whoop. Like, jeez.
It doesn't work with syndication, Danny.
Like, hang on.
You
a
defy the
second.
rules of the NHK.
Oh man, I'm trying to see here. Okay, yeah. So like, in the manga, it's like 3 chapters. So, I mean, come on. Like, that could have been easily put in. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm just a stickler.
Oh yeah, I think you need to sound down a little bit. You know, I think it's something. You should sound down.
I'm sorry, but like,
because it's not. That's why I was saying like it could have been like a special that came out later. You know. What I mean?
like it could have been a 3, like either 3 episode OVA or just a special, like, you know.
But I mean, if this is the way they wanted to present it in theaters and make a big deal,
Yeah,
out of it, it's fine, I guess, but
if,
like, yeah.
Yeah, if
Hey, they clearly made money on it, so they knew what they were doing.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
I mean,
now that I think about it.
Natsuki Takuya, she gave the okay for this, then hey, it's okay in my book. Like, I'm not gonna like say that they did a bad thing or anything. But I'm still grateful that they actually did do that, instead of just like, oh, we're just gonna skip this, like, we're not gonna present this. So,
all right, hell yeah, I loved it. If you love Fruits Basket and you've seen on the show and you love the show, just watch it. It's good.
Yeah,
it's cool. I give it a, I enjoyed it very much. I give it a solid 7. No, I give it like 7.5. 7.5. I don't want to give it because I gave the show like an 8.5. So like, yeah,
I gave the show a 10. Like, I gave the show a 10. Like, the whole series is a 10 for me. So
yeah, I think I gave season 3 a 9, and then I gave season 1 and 2. Oh no, I think I gave season 1 a 9 too. I don't remember. But
nope, I gave all 3 seasons a 10.
Yeah, it's really good. It is really good. I don't blame anyone for giving it a 10.
I'm going to give the movie like an 8.5. So, and that's only because of like the 30-minute recap. So
yeah, I honestly wish there was. I would give it a higher score if there was more, I think. But,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. But
it's still good though. Like, as we said throughout.
It's funny because we keep going like, but we still like it's fine though.
We still like it. Yeah. Yeah. Like, we're nitpicking at it and everything, but we still like it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, dude, yeah. I think it's really good. I think it's really good. I'm going back to check my scores to see what I gave everything. I gave the final season a 10, and then I gave everything else a 9.5 or a 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go. You know what? As long as I'm here, let's go find Prelude.
Are you gonna rate it?
Yeah, I'll just score it right now. Yeah, I say yeah, because I think I more so wish it was a little more, with that new.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm still not mad about it at all, and I think it's a perfect cap to everything I watched already. So, but yeah, I think you guys should just watch it. I think it's great. It's a perfect end cap. Get yourself like a fucking drink and some popcorn and just watch it. It's a perfect cap to
close off the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool that it's not anything that you don't expect. You expect all of it, so it's not anything that's gonna, and it's still gonna make you cry, which is crazy because you know it's coming. But that's why it's great, right? It's nothing that's gonna throw you for a loop or anything, and you're still gonna get hit with the honey nut Felios. So
yeah.
But yeah. That being said, thank you guys for listening to this EX episode. Hope you guys enjoyed our Pride episode.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one.
That was a little hard to edit just because Nick's thing went out, and
yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it was fine though. But yeah, I hope that we can get more of these review screens to review things early.
Yeah,
it's really
again,
fun.
thank you Crunchyroll, thank you Tyler for sending us the link to watch this and everything. We really appreciate you guys allowing us to review this ahead of time. I feel so special.
I feel special. Yeah. But yeah, I love you guys. I love you very much. I love you just the way you are. I've been Sam, that's been Danny, and this has been the Anime Summit EX Podcast. EX. You should get a different opening song for the.
Dude.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.